to SportsSkope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation. Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to SportsSkope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this 27th day of October. Got a great show with you. Waiting for Carlos to get here. But that being said, going to go over this week's biggest games in the NFL. And we'll talk about that, recap a little bit of last week and whatnot. But anyways, let's go ahead and take our first and only break. We'll be back here in 49 seconds here on SportsSkope. We'll hit the ground running. Hello, SportsSkope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and SportsSkope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Alrighty then, I'm back here live now with Carlos MadNewYorker Chavez. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Woo,
yeah.
What a long week, my man. It's a lot of sports going on.
It's so much it's hard to keep up with. I was an inch away, a 1 inch away from taking a run to Jackson about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And I thought, no, I really want to get in on this SportsSkope today. Eventually I'm going to get, maybe this weekend, one of those little rubber things that you put on your windshield and put your phone on and maybe try to do the show, while I'm driving down 40. You know where Jackson is. It's a few hours outside of Memphis.
Yeah, I know where it's
at. Germantown. Yeah. But I thought, that'd put me back too late, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to get back here and knock this laundry out and prepare to debate there Carlos MadNewYorker Chavez.
Ain't no debate, man. You won a few games fair and square.
You got that big Detroit game, and, I have to give you credit for that. But let me ask you this. You picked the Titans go to the Super Bowl, man, and they've made a trade this week. And I was curious about your opinion. Kevin Byard, one of their better players, safety, traded to all people, the Eagles. Thought they could have held out to the 11th hour, maybe, since the trade deadline's on Halloween. But they didn't. And they got a 5th and 6th round pick back. But what's your thoughts on Tennessee trading Byard to the Eagles?
I mean, the Tennessee Titans should have made one move, and that was to X Tannehill, right? But whatever, like they chose Byard. I mean, they're trying to get rid of some monies there, but who knows? Maybe the guys that got coming up will actually outperform Byard, right?
Okay.
He likes to keep a young defense, anyways. I haven't seen too many guys over the age of 32 on that team.
Yeah.
On the defense, and when they are, they're like towards the end of their tenure at the Titans anyway.
It's hard to argue with that one. They traded AJ Brown last year. I will say this, and I told the audience that, you may have been listening, I'm not sure, earlier this week. I totally forgot the fact that Titans got a 3rd round pick with that 1st round for AJ Brown last year. And they did get, to the Titans' defense, Nicholas Petit-Farik with that 3rd round of starting right. Is he a right tackle now? Yeah, the starting right tackle. And Burks, if he could stay healthy, that's a big if. It's not a bad consolation prize. That being said, AJ Brown playing out of this world right now.
Yeah, but again, the Eagles are gonna be in the playoffs, but they're gonna find themselves in a hot situation where They got Devontae Smith on one end, who's going to want the ball more. They got Swift, who needs to get the ball more.
Yeah.
And they got a coach who kind of like, he just throws his hands up and treats it like a high school football game and be like, we'll just play it by ear. Like, I don't know what he's trying to do. And he's getting lucky right now, but he needs a better plan if he wants to make it to the Super Bowl. They'll be in the playoffs, but he needs to tighten that ship a little bit more. Make sure that he's selling in the right and along the way, the right way. Some of these games are too close, man. They're too close, and they shouldn't be. Not with that talent, man. He got like 8 Pro Bowlers on the team.
Oh, Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. They're a pretty deep team, man.
Like 8 to 12 Pro Bowlers on that team. They should be a lot better. And that's why I was upset the other day on the Northeast, on the NFC East show that I'm on. I was like, it's a little embarrassing that all these teams are not scoring what they should be scoring with all that talent that they have, and they boast about it like, oh, the NFC East is the best right now. It's like, right now the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. Dallas is the second best, but you guys, I mean, they got to be averaging more than 30 points a game, but they're not. They like in a 20, 25, maybe 27 points, but it's not for the amount of aerial attacks and all they do throwing the ball and stuff. It's not a lot of points that they and they're not scoring them fast either. And
what about the Titans side? Do you still think they can make it to the Super Bowl this year, even though they traded a player?
Well, they're in a division that allows them a lot of flexibility to do and make these kind of moves. Yeah. And I think that the one thing that they need to focus on is to keep that offense together and move on from Tannehill. He's not the man. And even if they're going to go ahead and focus, make Malik Willis, make him the number one, and that's it. Just bench Tannehill. Like, there's nothing wrong with that because
Tannehill's been ruled out this weekend, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with
him and Levis. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with just making Willis. You got to see what you have for the future. Plus, he's more likely to give you an opportunity than the other two, I think, because he's got, even though
Willis.
I feel like Willis needs to play more because he can run. He can stay out of the pocket. He can move right or left of the pocket and make decent throws. He's not the most proficient, but again, you gotta be able to move out of the pocket. And
he'll have a lot of games. I mean, they've got 11 games left. That ain't like they've got 4 games, and we'll see how it goes, man. There's been rumors that maybe the Cowboys go after Derrick Henry or maybe the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, there are rumors, but look, like, they still got one of the best wide receivers in the NFL on the team. Yeah. So they gotta get him the ball, right? They got one of the best running backs in the NFL. They got to get him the ball. Like, this is why I'm not understanding why the Titans what it is that they were trying to do and accomplish. Even without an O-line, you can do a little bit, and they weren't doing that much. And now they have to prove that it was the quarterback. And if you put somebody that's young and a little bit faster, then you should be able to do a little bit more than what you had with Tannehill. Like, and all Tannehill proved was that he got paid, he got overpaid, and he ain't nothing but a backup. So
who's that? Who's not the backup?
Tannehill.
This is his last year. He just can't stay healthy. And this is what I said they should have done in the offseason. Yeah, is dump Tannehill, dump Henry, and give up modest contract to Josh Dobbs.
You sound like me. He's like, just get rid of Daniel Jones, get rid of everybody. Like, no, it's the problem.
Well, we was on the same page there with Jones. I never saw it with him. We both agreed it was a bunch of magic tricks.
Yeah,
although they got an interesting game this weekend, but Tyrod Taylor's the quarterback instead of Jones.
Yeah, and I told you that. I said that Daniel Jones is almost like a Tannehill, except he's younger and can run a little bit better than Tannehill.
Yeah, he's a much better runner.
But that doesn't say nothing because they're not even the top 20 quarterback. They're not top 20 quarterbacks.
Yeah, Pickles. I tell you what, Halloween's going to be interesting on Wednesday, the 1st of next week. I'll have Rich Ferris on the program. We'll be breaking that.
What can the Dallas Cowboys offer the Titans right now for Henry? What?
the second or third round wouldn't be out of the question. Henry's playing great.
But why would you, if you got the opportunity to get out of the South Division with the opportunity to get into the playoffs?
Oh, you're still holding out hope with Tennessee?
The Titans aren't that far off, man.
Well, for one thing, they're not too far back. They're only 2 games back. They've got a lot of stuff to be optimistic for. But they seem indecisive to me. I don't know about you.
They don't have an offensive coordinator that does anything right.
They just brought this Kelly. Now I will say that could get, if something could get Vrabel fired, that could get Vrabel fired. Being too loyal to air quote in-house assistants will get him fired. You know, that's what got the last coach fired with the Houston Texans, and they brought in DeMeco Ryans. It was this guy that it was only a coach for like 1 year. It wasn't Lovie Smith. It was the guy before him. But my point was he was too loyal to his assistants, and he didn't want to make any changes.
You talking about the offensive coordinator for the Patriots?
No, not him.
He was a Texans coach.
I'm talking about the former head coach of the Texans. Excuse me.
Yeah, he was a Texans coach.
No, not Bill O'Brien. This guy David Culley. Excuse me, Culley.
Oh, Culley.
The defense. He was a special teams coach technically for the Ravens. Nice guy, very loyal to his assistants. They fired him after 1 year and got a big chunk of money from him. Then they hired Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith didn't work out. He got a big chunk of money from him. Now they got DeMeco Ryans. Kind of reminds me of a young Mike Vrabel. Very vibrant, uplifting team. But the last 2 coordinators for Vrabel have been in-house guys. Remember, Arthur Smith was turned out he's the head coach. They'll be playing this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith, also the son of the FedEx creator. Yeah, so maybe one day he'll probably buy him a team when his dad dies. He's like our age, but he looks a lot older, though. That NFL's stressing him out, man.
Robert, do you honestly think the Jags are the top of the heap of this division, and they're gonna just roll through the division?
Who?
The Jags.
Well, I don't know. You know, Houston's already beat them once.
Exactly.
The Jags are a good team. They've shown that. They beat Buffalo on the road. They beat the Saints on the road. I actually like them to beat Pittsburgh on the road. We'll talk about that in a minute. They're a pretty decent team. They came back from 3 or 4 touchdowns in the playoff last year.
They're the second most winningest team in the NFL right now. But that don't mean nothing during the midseason, because I'm gonna tell you something, man. That division allows them, again, flexibility to lose 1 or 2 and still make it into the playoffs.
Who's that? The South?
The AFC South, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, technically, what if Levis gets hot and takes over? Me personally, you know, Malik Willis, nice guy, good locker room guy.
I don't
even think he's a backup in this league right now. I mean,
look, the Titans they made a mistake of letting Dobbs go last season.
They should have kept Dobbs. He picked up on the playbook in like a week.
He picked up the playbook and knew it the minute he got on the field. It looked like he was an actual starter that just came back.
They had Jacksonville beat if it wasn't for the left tackle getting drilled by the Arden Key, who's now a Titan for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who made a key play, sacked him, and they fumbled the ball and came up. So I wish they would have just kept him, got rid of those other 2 guys, got a left tackle, Orlando Brown, picked up that Ben Powers guy that's now with Denver, and drafted Sonorski. Now you got your line set, right?
Yeah, but
and get a receiver the second round instead of giving Levis, and then just let. And if they lose out this year, it's a better quarterback draft next year, anyways. And it looks like they may be in it. What if they still get a top 5 pick, man? And one of those good quarterbacks are on the board? Would they do 3 years in a row?
I don't feel like they're tanking, man. Look, this is the funny part, right? Here's a scenario that can go on in the AFC South. the Jags and the Titans can be, trying to get that position, and the Colts can come up and snap it because the division's wide open, right? If the Titans and the Jags lose again to Texas, the Colts can sneak right in and get that bid.
Well, they got a good line, and Minshew's got some experience, but I think it's an uphill battle.
Taylor's back.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's back. They've played tough now. They've hung tough, but I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, the division is good.
The division is like the NFC North, man. It's just like anybody can win. And even the NFC
Well, Detroit's pretty good, but
come on, man.
Detroit played the way they played last year. Pickles don't think the Colts can win the South. I told you at the beginning, it's the Jets, it's the Jags to lose and the Titans to win. And my friend Rich, he said the same thing. Yeah, he don't think the Titans can win it. But we'll see, guys. I mean, it's like there's 11 games left.
All the Jags have to do is lose Lawrence in a dumb injury, and that's it.
Well, he's got a brace on his leg.
He already got a brace on, kids.
Yeah.
So
does, for the record, so does Jalen Hurts too, and they got a tough game against the Commanders this weekend.
This guy came rocking a brace too yesterday. Mr. Football, Mr. Oklahoma.
Who? Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, he was rocking a knee brace yesterday.
Yeah. That's a good scope for me. I told you that's the Tampa team that I predicted straight down in the tank. Did you catch that where Baker Mayfield's still staring down his receivers?
But look, Bobby, man, you gotta understand the Bills. They almost gave him the game yesterday.
Yeah, they almost did.
Terrible calls in the.
But I said it would be within that point spread, which is 9.5. They won by 7.
The referees didn't even call. They called terrible calls the last 20 seconds of the game and didn't even call holding in the end zone. Baker Mayfield threw a ball and it fell flat into the end zone. It just bounced like a soda can falling.
He's like it would have been dumb luck if that would have won. Hey, but look, I'd rather be lucky and good anyways. Hey,
they're not lucky. They lucky. They ain't good.
Hey, man, ain't that the truth, brother? Ain't that the truth? Ain't that a shame? Okay. Let's go over last week now. Now you were right. It seemed like you wanted to do a little victory lap here about being right about the Ravens. We'll start with that Ravens-Lions game. There, here's a stat. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Lamar Jackson and that offense, he's such a good athlete. He's 15-1 against NFC teams. They're just not used to his speed and type of plays that are called around him. But that's the best he's ever played Sunday. And this Todd Monken has really done a good job with him. And he's put in the work. He proved me wrong. I put him in now, the guys that can win a Super Bowl. It's rare for that to come around. Jalen Hurts, I didn't think he was ever going to mount to anything. I never thought that Lamar Jackson was either. I kind of made that Steve Young comparison. Steve Young was terrible with Tampa, man, back in 86 and 85.
Yeah.
When he got to a good system with the 49ers, he put the work in, even though he was under – George Seifert, which was under Bill Walsh originally. And, of course, he had some great players. But, hey, man, he played 17 years, Steve Young.
Yeah, because he played in that league before it busted.
He played in USFL only for like 1 year, though. And then he played for the Bucks, running for his life, more interceptions than touchdowns. But the reason why I've had that take on Lamar, number one, he had a losing record, went down early in the games. Number two, he had been hurt last year to end the season, the year before that, and the playoff game before that in Buffalo, running too much. So
not running, he just gets smacked upside the head too much.
Yeah, he's lucky to be around, but hey, when you work hard like he does, You're real dedicated. Tony Gonzalez said only 4% of the players work like that. The rest of them, they're resting on their laurels. They never get as good as past their second year in the league, and they just kind of milk paychecks. So I kind of believe Tony Gonzalez when he says that.
But Lamar is one of those guys, even though he's like one of those freak
He's
athletes.
a 4%er, I believe.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete. He's very, very competitive guy. And I feel for someone who was similar, had their trajectory going the right way, but then they're as much as they were a good athlete, they were not as freakish as Lamar, and that's Robert Griffin III. Like, you ever see this guy work out? He did everything right. Like, he can even throw the ball, and he was smart, but he just didn't have the same type of body as Lamar, and Lamar just has.
Lamar's a thicker player, a heavier player.
A thicker player, yeah. And Robert Griffin's just slimmer, and had Robert Griffin been thicker in the thighs and a little bit bigger on the chest and the shoulders, he probably would have been able to take a couple more hits. It just when you don't have an O-line, man, that's what can happen, bro.
Yeah. Now Griffin's a guy who he at one time when he was leaving Baylor, and I started thinking about it, I thought he's the guy that Mahomes has become. I thought he had that kind of potential, but he never really learned. He had some. He won't admit this, but he might in private. He had some maturity problems there towards the end. Him and Shanahan. Mike Shanahan, I want to say, really bumped heads there at the end, and he never quite got that swagger back after that injury. And some guys got that bull in them like that, and I think he was resting on his laurels, remember he's doing a lot of commercials, and Andrew Luck was like just all business. He wasn't messing around. Right. Kind of like when Baker Mayfield came into the league, doing all these commercials, hadn't done anything, And now we see what Baker Mayfield's doing, barely hanging on to a job. He might be in the XFL in the next year or two.
Yeah, he's
already doing studio work,
But he's trying. Baker Mayfield is trying, and that's a positive sign. Yeah, that's why they're my dark horse, Tampa Bay, to make it to the playoffs.
You still got them in it?
Yeah, because that defense is no joke. It's fast and young, and even Allen, they had they made him like one-dimensional yesterday. They made him have to play at his skill level, which is run the ball. But they didn't do a bad job. I don't think. I think people are looking. We're looking at the game for the Bills to dominate that.
Yeah,
and it's not like that. And now you see football the way it is, and every team can battle and every team has an opportunity because there's a lot more parity than I think we in our minds and then on paper that we see like, oh no, this team's this and that, and it's not what it is.
Well, they had a lot of injuries too. They had their best linebacker out. Ed Oliver played at the last. And Chad, you're right. They drafted Kirk. You like that Cousins in that same draft in the fourth round, if I'm not mistaken. The Washington Redskins, if you remember that, Carlos.
Yeah, I remember that.
And, that being said, Robert Griffin, a lot of that was on Robert Griffin. I know that he probably shouldn't have played in that Seattle game after tearing his ACL. Remember that? We're going back 10 years now, 10, 11 years against Seattle, and that's when Russell Wilson became born. He probably shouldn't have done that, but I think that he could have came back from that. Look at Joe Burrow. He came back a year from his torn ACL and got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You like that kid. Listen, I think Joe Burrow is a little bit too slim. So I think he's ready. One good hit, ready to knock him out of the game. Just like a Robert Griffin. He don't have that. He's got moxie, man. He's a good quarterback. He just you have to have a body to be able to play this game. And I'll give you a great example who was a big dude, but not big in the right places. And he quit too. And you mentioned his name for Indianapolis. The quarterback from Stanford. What's his name?
Oh, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Yeah, you mentioned his name, Andrew Luck. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was. I think he mentally burned out too.
Well, if you get hit like that, if you're getting smacked inside the head and getting concussions and you know that you're looking down and you're the most paid player and because you're getting paid, you don't got an O-line, It's going to happen. I'm surprised David Carr stayed in the league as long as he got as many times as he got.
I've been telling people teams that spend money on the offensive line win more. It's just the way of the world in this league. It's not a glamorous position.
Rob, you talking like you could be the next GM, but here's the thing.
I could, man.
Everybody got terrible lines in the NFL right now. If you're looking at all 32 teams, about 26 of them got terrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no these big dudes that come out. They not as
well.
big.
You need an offensive-minded head coach that works around that offensive line. That was a huge win for Brian DeBall Sunday over the Commanders there.
Oh my gosh!
It is what it is, though. They didn't have.
I'm glad they won, but they won for nothing because at the end they're just like they're not going to win tomorrow on Sunday.
I like the Jets in that game as well. So, what's your thoughts on Baltimore, Detroit, man?
I always thought that Detroit was there's something missing about that team. They're in a good division to do what they're doing right now, but when they play bigger and better competition, they need to be able to dominate that, not just their own division. So, I feel like I don't know, maybe a few players on the offensive side and defensive side. I think they're like 4 players short, man. And the fact that they keep getting these injuries, they affect the team a lot. You could tell, man. Like just like last year when they had, a couple players here, a couple players
they
there.
had some injuries last year. Yeah.
When St. Brown goes out, man, that's and you're talking about. I'm not a big fan of golf, but a lot of people like golf, but he don't have that. That's a security blanket. He don't have him. He already feels like he's
trying to develop with Jamison Williams, the guy who's suspended and got his the other first round wide receiver out of the second year player out of Alabama. He was hurt last year. Looked good towards the end, and then this year he had the gambling suspension that they got reduced it to 4 games. I think Detroit will bounce back. They're still learning how to win on a consistent basis. And they ran into a buzzsaw with the red-hot Baltimore Raven team that seemed to be the healthiest they've been in 2 years, if you ask me, on both sides of the ball. Their defense was a lot more healthy. Marlon Humphrey's a big uplift to their defense. Him getting back. Roquan Smith, getting him to a full contract. A pretty big contract. I think they lead the league in sacks right now. If not, they're in the top 5.
I think Detroit's defense eyes got too big. Over pressed too much and overran a lot of their calls, and they just as soon as they did that and Baltimore got a few points up, it was just they didn't look back. Baltimore just kept going, and I like that they stepped on the neck and actually crushed it.
Yeah, they did good, 38-6. I didn't see that coming, and
I like that.
At times they've had so many injuries. The Baltimore looked the shell of themselves, and injuries can do a lot to a team. They're a deeper team, really good organization. Hats off to them. What's your thoughts on Philly? Now, this is one I had right. You didn't have I had Philly. You had Miami.
Same thing.
Philly's pretty good on the inside.
Yeah, they kept that defense. They kept that defense on the field a little bit too long. They couldn't get their the speedsters going, and they just they were still in the game a little bit, and but they just that defense you can't keep them on the field that long because they're not as spry and young as some other teams, and that shows a lot when when you got them. Eagles just kept converting all those third downs, man.
Yeah.
But the thing was,
what's your thoughts on the tush push, the quarterback sneak? The rugby play.
it's just a rugby play, and if it works, it works, and if it don't, it don't. But I mean, you can't hang it.
It really don't bother me. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a more sloppy version of the Brady quarterback sneak. Brady had it down, except he didn't have people pushing him from behind. He just ran up underneath the center real quick.
Yeah. Oh, he knew which guy to run under always. So
yeah.
But I think it's getting too much play, to be honest with you, because
you got to stop it. And when you got a center like Jason Kels, and you got a really strong quarterback. But maybe that's the reason why he had that brace on his knee too. That's something that they've got to put some thought into. And I'm telling you right now, Nick Sirianni's not giving that any thought. He just wants to get first downs. He don't care. But if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm like, well, I got my guaranteed money anyways. But still, Hurts has got higher expectations for his career. So I don't know if I would get it. I wouldn't get in the habit of keep doing that personally, man. I like it, but I may try to do the Brady thing. It just seems like it's dangerous. You got people pushing you from different directions there, and you're the quarterback. You get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it's 1 yard. I still don't understand. Just put your fullback or a lineman back there and just push as hard as you can. Give him the ball and let him run through the. They
got the best line in football, and it shows. Okay, man, I'm sure you heard me vent about Penn State. James Franklin, the worst offensive game plan ever. We're both wrong about that one.
What happened was that they went in there thinking that they can, go toe to toe with him and just play simple, and
right.
They made it complex, right? They called a few shots for Ohio State. He did a good job spreading out Penn State, his defense. He got his boy the ball in offense. He got Melvin. He got Junior the ball a few times in open space, and you only need once or twice for that kid to get in open space anyway, and he'll cut you up. So
yeah.
So
Was you surprised though if they don't believe in this kid throwing the ball downfield? And Keith Angle, to his credit, he mentioned this to me weeks ago. Or I would have picked Ohio State. I just didn't catch it. Why didn't James Franklin and that staff do some jet sweeps with the receiver? Do something that Miami does with the Tyreek Hill. If you don't have that kind of belief in this young kid, why are you doing that? It was the worst game plan I've ever seen him have.
I believe
that, man.
I believe Franklin wanted to keep it on the ground and just waste as much time as possible. That was another thing.
And it seemed like that they were playing not to get blown out.
Right, there you go. And it just been
kind of like Lane Kiffin and the when he was with Tennessee against Florida back when the Florida had that powerhouse Urban Meyer team.
Yeah, man. Like that's the thing about these coaches, man. They're playing it sometimes too safe, and what happens is it works against them. So, but people like some of these coaches, right? They have jobs, so
Jim knows is making a difference.
But I mean, look, the defense didn't play because they did a good job stretching them out, and that's they hang their hat on defense. So because I never said that Penn State had the most powerful offense in the NCAA, and
they look very athletic. Everything we said was true. It wasn't like it wasn't. And John, I picked against that's John Restano, Spitball Sports, great show. A great guy out of Niagara Falls. It sounds like Viagra Falls, and my bad. It has nothing to do with Cialis, Buffalo area, my brother. But no, Ohio State, got to give them credit. They got two big wins, one at Notre Dame and one at one over Penn State. So that's pumping up that Michigan game even more,
Yeah, and it man, Penn State, they took themselves out of the running just by playing it too safe.
I lost all faith. I think maybe Franklin may have run his course at Penn State. He's been there since 2014.
He just,
it don't seem like that long, does it?
But you know what? It's not for nothing though. His defenses have always produced 2 or 3 NFL players that are.
They've got speed. Saquon Barkley come off that team.
Michael Parsons, man.
Magetsky or whatever his name is, Beer Man. Tight end used to play with the Dolphins, and I think he's with the Patriots. Not a bad tight end. And they've had some linebackers over the years. Penn State's always had some good players here.
Brandon Short. Like a lot of guys, man.
Yeah, here and there. Any thoughts on Tennessee, Alabama? I thought you may have had that one. 2-touchdown lead at halftime.
I was getting
great
excited.
Second half adjustment by Nick Saban, man.
I was getting excited, and I don't think.
Thank you, Pickles. He knows what I'm talking about.
Just a second. Yeah, I don't think that Alabama played better the second half. I just think Tennessee thought they were going to win that game, and but another thing, I'll give them credit. They did throw the ball down the field. They did try to do a few things. They just ran out of gas, man. That's all it looked like. They looked like the offense just ran out of gas, and there was too much anxiety and because Alabama, as much as they took over the second half, it wasn't like a total takeover.
Well, right? Joe Milton, he fumbled there. He's a good guy, man. He just the turnovers. There's a reason why he got beat out by Hooker. There's a reason why he transferred from Michigan to Tennessee. He just don't have touch on the ball, man. He still has it. The one touchdown they did get, it was a great catch, but he almost overthrew that one at the beginning of the game, didn't he?
Yeah, but let's just say that those things didn't happen. Do you feel like Alabama would have won that game? Do you feel like Saban made adjustments to?
Well, he done it a couple weeks ago against Texas A&M on the road, down by a touchdown. Remember?
But that did look like Alabama was trying to get back in the game.
Yeah.
What I saw against Tennessee, it didn't look like Alabama was trying to get in the game, except for that defense, that fumble when they picked up and scored. That was,
27 unanswered points. I mean, you got to give Alabama some credit there.
No, I will. I will, but I'm also saying that Tennessee gave up a lot more than what Alabama put up.
Yeah, and I want to say Tennessee. I've talked about this last year. They're not that good on the road. He's got to fix that. He meaning Josh Heupel. He's got to fix that. Their road record. They struggled on the road against everybody. They had a good game last year against LSU off of bye week. They struggled against Pittsburgh last year. They gave up that lead this year to Alabama. They lost last year to Georgia. Of course, Georgia's #1 team last year. And that was a pretty good game considering who they were playing. Who else did they lose? And they got blown out last year by South Carolina, which now we figured out that was a fluke looking at them this year.
Yeah, I mean,
got chewed out at halftime. And you know what? The truth of the matter is Alabama's a very talented team, and they were my team to win over Michigan in the national championship, and maybe that will come to fruition. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a big – now it's going to be a big mess.
Because Georgia's Brock Bowers, their best player, is out for a while. So –
here's the thing, Robert. I give Alabama the points and the credit for winning the game, right? They did better, and they came back and won the game in the second half. But when you asked me do you think Tennessee can win this game, I said, nah, it'd be close, right? And they ended up.
I said 24-16. You picked Tennessee, so I thought Alabama would win. It's a higher score than I thought it would be. Tennessee played better. But Tennessee lost like that to Florida. I've kind of pretty much lost everything. All faith in Tennessee this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
It was a good win against A&M a couple weeks ago.
So who takes it? Alabama's going to take it from that? They go to the championship?
Well, they got to play LSU next week, but LSU's not that good. It's at Alabama. We'll see how they've got Auburn at the end of the year. People can laugh. Auburn always gives them a game because it's in Auburn. And if they get over that hump, they'll probably play Georgia. I don't know how Georgia responds without Brock Bowers. I think Georgia's a little overrated this year. They're just living on last year's reputation. We'll see though. They haven't really been tested yet. Florida Florida will probably play them for 3 quarters and then pull away late. They play tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Tomorrow's gonna be an exciting day.
Let's talk about this week. Back to the NFL. Let's see. Jets and Giants. Both of them are still in it. Both coming off pretty good wins there, especially the Jets beat Philadelphia. Giants playing better under Tyrod Taylor. They're still not going to have their left tackle. This is going to be a rainy, crappy game in East Rutherford. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's going to be in good shape. Who do you like and why on this game?
I like the defenses on both teams to score points. This should be a prop bet which defense will score more points because they're both going to score points, I think.
It could be 2 defensive touchdowns. I never thought about it that way, but that's true.
You know, if Tyrod Taylor gets knocked out of the game, I don't know who's going to back him up.
Man, that's a good question because Jones has already been ruled out.
And if what's this kid? If Wilson gets knocked out of the game, who's backing him?
Oh man!
So we might see 2 terrible offenses on the field at the same time, but we're definitely going to see a lot of good defense.
Yeah, it'll be an under game. The over and under's like 36.5. But the Giants, no, it's Tyrod Taylor. Giants don't even have a third string quarterback.
Is he gonna just not kick?
They're gonna put Barkley in and run the Wildcat, I guess. Barkley will be back, or he'll be playing. Jalen Hyatt, who had some big catches last week, former Tennessee player.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel better that the Giants actually scored a point after like 14 quarters without scoring anything, but I don't feel better about the team.
Tim Boyle will be the backup for the Jets, for the record, guys.
I have
no idea who that is, but I'm just reading the depth chart. He went to Eastern Kentucky, 6'4", 232. Got the look and everything, but we'll see. Yeah, I like the Jets too, man. I think they'll play well, but don't be surprised if the Giants win this game. The ball has a way of making things happen when you don't see them going to happen.
I mean, you got more confidence in this guy than I do.
But, the last 2 games, man.
Oh, my gosh.
He's gotten a lot better in the last 2 games but I still like the Jets, too.
Dable doesn't do anything. He's not on the field playing.
Yeah, but he's
Robert, do you understand it?
17-14 Jets. What do you say?
They went 14 games without scoring until last week. And this is an offensive-minded coach.
You play to win the game.
Oh, my God.
And they won.
This is all right. I got the Jets winning 14-6.
Oh, wow. Back old school.
I'm going to watch a game.
One's bad and the other one's proud of it. Pickles, this will be the game that's going to be on Red Zone all day long.
Offense will make so many mistakes that both of these defenses are going to score. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see. Where should I go next? You know what? Rams, Dallas.
Woo! Dallas.
Those are 2 big name brand teams there. If you guys watched the program, obviously I like Dallas. Dallas won 22-10 last week, but the Rams are clever. They do have Cooper Kupp. They've got Nakua. Dallas is not quite as strong on the back end as seen before, but Dallas off of a bye week.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard, fresh legs. I still like this defense Dan Quinn has put together. I still think that Dallas wins and covers that 6.5 spread. This is what I said yesterday. I'll repeat it: 27-17. Dallas beats the Rams, and they stay somewhat in the race there with Philadelphia in the East, man.
Yeah, I believe Dallas will control the time of possession.
Yeah.
I believe that even though they have Stafford and they got a better they're getting better, in the air, and they got these guys running left and right. They don't have the defense this week. They got a lot of defense, and they got a lot of injuries in the defense. Cornerback, safety, a couple linemen. I don't think that the Rams can be able to
get off the field.
Yeah.
It could be like that Eagles game that the Rams played a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so I feel like Dak, I feel like he's getting better. I hope to see CeeDee Lamb score at least 1 touchdown, maybe, hopefully. Let's try to get let's see if the Cowboys can get Gallup going, Pollard going. Like, these guys need to start showing their,
Michael Gallup. I haven't heard that name in a few weeks.
Yeah, he dropped a few balls last week. Yeah. Dak was trying to get in the ball. I'd want to see them use their tight end a little bit more too. So, because they got a good tight end.
Ferguson, I think is his name.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Dak does a good job spreading, throwing to all of this team.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
the ball around,
I'm hoping to see the NFC East get a big game here and sad to say that's probably going to be the Dallas game that they're going to win. And I see it, I'd say like 20 to maybe 7. 21,
Okay.
21,
All right.
7.
Well, they could win like that. Sean McVay is going to have to be crafty to get maybe Stafford moving a little bit in the pocket. He's got a strong arm. Stafford went to school. Stafford's originally from Texas, so he'll be amped up for this game. Yeah, John says, I love the Bears +9. That Bears backup quarterback,
cool.
Division II guy, he had a lot of friends and family in the stadium last week, and
my boy went out and got 50 some odd tickets for his family and friends.
Yeah, you saw that too. I thought that was interesting. Maybe the Bears +9. I'm not even covering that game today, but we'll see. I forgot who they play now. Oh, Green Bay. Yeah.
Oh, they'll definitely get that.
I think so. And
Green
Love
Bay's
will play better. Love can't play any worse, by the way. I don't think.
I told you from the get that the best thing about his name, the best thing about him is his last name. That's it. I told you that. You don't remember that? You remember that? I told you that. I was like, that dude is
Buddy Love, Money Professor.
You can always sell. That's a jersey that will always sell because people love that word.
Well, it's the Packers. They had Brett Favre. Then they have Aaron Rodgers. He said they play the Chargers. Yeah, one's bad and the other one's proud of it. The Chargers are not poorly coached.
Well, you had the Chargers as one of your teams this coming year.
I had them to get the 1 seed and get beat in the divisional game. That's right. That's a Sunday night game.
You picking the Chargers like I picked the Titans, and we both like.
No, I didn't have them going anywhere. I just have them get into the playoffs and get beat like they did last year. So, getting back on task here. So you like Dallas? I like Dallas. No big deal there. This is the game that I know that's big. Both of these teams are 4-2. That's Seattle and Cleveland, man.
That's the
at
game
Seattle,
that will watch. That's the game of the week that nobody will watch.
Nobody will watch, but it's important record-wise. It's a very important game. Watson, not really practiced all week. He's already been ruled out.
Yeah.
They've got a really good team. I can't see them going on the road twice and winning with this P.J. Walker guy. As much as I'm not really in love with Seattle, they're pretty healthy right now. Got the good chance to have Jamal Adams come back there. No, he's been limited. That Seattle environment, with P.J. Walker, not really in love with this game.
Yeah,
but they seem like the healthier of the two teams is the Seattle. 2017 Seahawks win at home. What do you think?
I want to pick Seattle, but I don't. I'm like, last time we talked about Geno Smith and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I don't know what we're going to get from him either. Like,
yeah, because you got beat on that Seattle-Cincinnati game a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and then
but that was in Cincinnati. This is in Seattle.
Against Cleveland. Cleveland's hurt.
Yeah, and their left tackle's 50-50 to play for Cleveland. So
you said what did you say that your score was?
I had 2017 Seahawks. And I've been wrestling this game all week, but I know it's an important game, man. It's a big game. And I love Cleveland normally, but I don't know if they could do 2 road wins like that, back to back like that. They've had 3 pretty physical games between 49ers, Colts, which a few bad calls. The Colts probably could have won that game.
But that's 3+ points for them. That's almost 4 points.
Yeah, it's 3.5 for Seattle as being the favorite there. But I'm thinking maybe Cleveland covers. I don't know. All I do know is you just get a sense that I don't know about this E.J. Walker. He's better than a rookie. And I know Seattle has a tendency to, lay an egg. They're not as dominant as they used to be at home.
Well, here's the
thing. Ain't the Legion of Boom, but they're pretty good up there.
Yeah, they're young and they're fast, and the problem is they're young right now. I think that Seattle's going to get this one as well. and I'm thinking 27, 17 maybe.
It's 3.5 guys, and it's Jerome Ford is banged up. He might play. I'm thinking probably Kareem Hunt, which I like to call ketchup, because there used to be a bottle of ketchup named Hunt's. Make you think you're buying Heinz, but really you're buying the generic brand. And he used to play for Kansas City, right? Red jersey, Hunt's. Why did you give him the ketchup commercial back in the day?
Hunt's ketchup is not generic.
That's the ghetto ketchup. I used to have the ghetto. I mean, I grew up pretty poor, Put that on your French fries.
It's not Heinz, it's Hunt's.
Yeah. I can't afford a Tom Collins, so I bought a Phil Collins. I heard a comedian up in New York say that. Hey, have you ever been to Stand Up New York, by the way, the comedy club?
I've been to a few comedy clubs, but not stand up.
You've been to Caroline's?
Caroline, yeah.
That's the big one, yeah. And my friend Kenny that I moved up there with, he did Stand Up New York one time. People's Choice with Chance. Anyway, y'all got jokes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what I said 27 to 7.
You like all that scored on that Cleveland defense, huh? You think they're going to be exhausted?
Yeah, I think, and it's Seattle, man. It's going to be terrible weather probably.
And here's the thing. Weather's going to be good. I've already checked the weather. The knock on Schwartz, the longer you play as defense, the more you can throw on them for whatever reason.
You know, I'm not going to lie, but I like that Bobo kid, and I think he's going to have 2 catches for about, and 1 for a touchdown.
Who's Bobo?
Exactly. That's what, that's the hot take is Bobo's going to be, he's going to be Han, man. He's going to have about.
For Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have heard that name before. I thought you were talking about the young receiver, Jason Najigma Smith for Ohio State.
No. I think Bobo's he's I like him. He's a good cat, man. He goes up for the ball, man. And I like that about guys like that, man. He wasn't scared, man.
Oh, Jake Bobo, wide receiver, yeah. You wasn't making that up either.
So
Lockett's catchable. You still got Jigma Smith.
2 games in a row we had some important catches. Now he's not a fantasy. Bobo. He's not a fantasy pick. You might only get 3 to 5.
UCLA player, 6'4", pretty big guy though. Hey man, it's whoever you got the chemistry with the quarterback with. You just never know who the quarterbacks are like.
There's 2 weeks in a row, and I hope maybe he get more than 5 catches this week. So, he's a game changer, man. I like him.
Yeah. I think Seattle wins this one. Pickle says this guy Bobo climbs the ladder.
Yeah, man. See, there you go.
Maybe he's a Jordy Nelson of the
no.
Seahawks.
You know what he kind of looked like to me is a Flexible Burris type of person.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this kid is going up, and because Plex used to go.
Plexico looked like he was 7 foot tall when he comes up.
This Bobo kid,
long arms.
I'm telling you, he stretched out and he looked like he was in the entire left side of the end zone going for a catch. I'm like, yo, this kid is long, man, and the thing is that he went up strong. He's not just like trying to catch the ball; he goes up strong, and
who they beat up on last week? Arizona.
Who, Seattle? Seattle, I thought they lost last week, no? Didn't they lose?
No, they beat Arizona 20-10.
Oh, it was the week before I lost that game.
Yeah, let's see what Bobo had since you talking crazy about your boy. Yep, 4 catches, 61 yards, touchdown. He only had 5 targets. And Lockett's hurt, so maybe he takes over for Tyler Lockett, takes the edge off of DK Metcalf, who probably
gets double, triple.
Denzel Ward will probably be on him anyways. Very good corner.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
Look for him. You'll find him. If you watch the game, you'll see him, man.
He scored last week, so yeah, I'll keep an eye. I may use that in my fantasy. Let's move along, Chief.
It's only 5 points, man. Don't do that. It's like 5 to 8 points, man.
Well, he's probably real cheap on daily though.
We'll see.
You got to. Yeah, I could fit him in for a bargain. Okay, here's a big one for you guys: Steelers in Jacksonville.
That's gonna be the game of the week right there.
Huge. This could be a playoff game. Atmosphere. Pittsburgh. That was one of my picks last week in my points against the spread. I had them going on the road to beat the Rams. This is another game, guys. It's going to be raining. It's going to be raining right there now on the East Coast there, Chief, from Pittsburgh inward. Sorry to hear that, brother. It's going to be nice here in Nashville.
Well,
Sorry you're not here, brother.
Pittsburgh is not on the East Coast. Pittsburgh's in like the Middle East.
Well, it's an East Coast. It's an East Coast.
I know.
It's not like Philly, though. I get you.
It's
It's not on the coastline.
It's
not a nor'easter in air quotes. But
it's in the Northeast. It just ain't on the coast.
A lot of people. Now I know Jags are favored. Steelers may take that for motivation. Jacksonville's matched up really well against them in the past.
I'm scared for Jacksonville, man. That O-line keeps getting smaller and smaller because I don't know if they're getting beat up. I don't know what they're doing.
You're right.
They're not helping ETN with the running game. Lawrence looks like he's getting beat up left and right.
Yeah.
Even though they're winning.
Yeah, they beat the Saints last Thursday.
Even though they're winning, look, Trevor Lawrence is one good hit from being axed. So
TJ Watt could get after him, but you know something? As good as their defense is, they're susceptible to the run. Six straight touchdowns for Travis Etienne. My dad calls him E.T. phone home. I actually like Jacksonville to get the win up there in the rain in Pittsburgh. How about this? 16-13, 16-12, the better running team. Jacksonville beats the Steelers. Not a lot of people are going to be calling that. I think a lot of people are going to take the underdog Steelers.
At home.
It's in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Come on, man. All right, look, how about this? ETN, he's going to score. I'll give him a touchdown because the Steelers will probably give him the touchdown. But I think the Steelers are going to win this game. It's going to be close, 24-21. It's going to be by a field goal.
Okay, Steelers by a field goal. I've got 16-12 Jacksonville. I may regret that because TJ Watt is all that in a couple soup.
Yeah.
You know, the Titans had a chance to draft him.
Don't say nothing like that. Don't say nothing.
The Titans passed him up, man.
The Titans have passed up a lot of
people. They're killing me, Smalls. They're killing me. Throw a little sandlot for you.
No, but like, hey, man, this could go to. I've been trying to get an overtime game.
Man, you're really an overtime guy. What is your fascination?
I want to see it because, you know, these people, it's like another game, right? It's a new game once you're in overtime, right?
You guys want Jacksonville to lose, so the Titans maybe edge a little bit closer. I'm just calling balls and strikes. I think Jacksonville beat them. Yeah, but we'll see. It's going to be a great game. That's why the spread's really tight. It's like
you know what Jacksonville reminds me of? The
What's
Cincinnati Bengals. The only reason I like Jacksonville better than the Bengals, though, is that Lawrence is the truth. Lawrence is a good quarterback. He's almost great. The only problem is you can't see his greatness because his O-line is.
It could be better.
He could be.
But they're pretty healthy though.
Yeah,
they're pretty healthy.
And Cincinnati is like, you know, every once in a while they win and then they start losing and then they'll win. You know, like very inconsistent. So I think the Jags are like this. They were more like this last year, the Jags, but this year, a lot of guys have been stepping up. Kirk's been stepping up.
Calvin Ridley, believe it or not, having a pretty good season, you know.
Yeah, but I still don't have that much faith in them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's not the coaching either. It is kind of the coaching. It's the coaching, and then the most important, like, only way to get Travis Lawrence, like, as much out of him as possible, his potential, is to have a running game.
And they got a pretty good running game.
Well, it's good when it works, and when it doesn't work, that's where they have that situation. So, they need more balance. They need they're missing something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if
you like Pittsburgh. I like Jacksonville. We got one more game, guys. Pickles up there saying good show. Last but not least, this is the team these two had in the Super Bowl. Cincinnati playing at San Francisco. Frisco may have Brock Purdy back. He's still got to go through a few steps in that concussion protocol. They may have Trent Williams back, their left tackle, there as well. But Cincinnati's coming off of a bye week, and Cincinnati, fresh legs, very healthy. T. Higgins going to be back. no matter if Brock Purdy or Trent Williams coming back, 49ers road game Monday night. I actually like the Bengals to go on the road and get the win. People's going to be freaking out. San Francisco loses 3 straight, but they bounce back later when they get the left tackle healthy. No matter who's the quarterback, I still like Cincinnati to get the win. What's your thoughts, man?
Is Debo playing?
Who?
Debo.
No, he's out.
Yeah. I don't think this is the time, is what I always mentioned to you about the Shanahan system and why Brock Purdy's been okay in it. And this is where it happens when you got the injury that's going on. So Cincinnati will win. Maybe this game will go into overtime, 24-24, and Cincinnati will win with a field goal.
I was for sure you was going to go the other way.
You know I don't. You know I would rather pick
27-24 Cincinnati. Just in case y'all didn't hear me.
What'd you say?
27-24 Bengal. Who do you like in NBA Finals since the NBA season started?
Yo, so there's an in season tournament.
Yeah.
And I feel like those teams, Phoenix, the Milwaukee Bucks, I feel like those going to be the last 2 to go into the during the season tournament. And I feel like Boston and I feel like maybe Boston and the Bucks for the Northeast.
Well, that's the Eastern. Yeah.
And I feel that
final.
the dark horse team will probably make it will be Sacramento, and Dallas will be the last 2 in the West. Those are my 4.
So who's going to be in the final? John says Suns, Celtics. I say Celtics, Denver. Celtics win it all in 6.
Did I say Dallas? I'm in Denver. I saw.
Oh, okay.
Sacramento,
so
Denver.
Who wins the finals, guys?
It'll be Denver and the Celtics, and I feel like Denver probably can.
You like Denver going back to back?
Yeah, but I don't think they'll win the in-season tournament.
Yeah, that in season. I don't even know the rules to that. John likes the Suns. If the Suns stay healthy, that'll be an interesting. If they can keep Bradley Beal
they got the AARP team, man.
Durant healthy, guys. I mean, possibly.
That's
Pickle said you guys are all agreeing with me. I guess y'all really buying into what I'm saying. Hey, listen, my man Jeffrey Deskovic, he likes Denver or Boston over Denver. I like Boston. Boston looked great the other night.
Yeah,
they let the Knicks back in, though. They let the Knicks back in. A little too many threes for Kristaps Porzingis.
But he made them.
I think Luka may win the MVP. I don't know who else would be in there.
Jokic. I don't think Philadelphia will be in the finals, bro.
No.
I've been saying for 3 years that team should have been blown up. Yeah, but I did see something. And
Pickle says Celtics in 7. Okay.
I see that Maxey, man, you could tell that he wants to win, man, and it's sad that he's on that Phillies team, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because even though with Embiid, and I'm not saying.
Do you think he may get traded? A lot of people talking about the Knicks thing.
Embiid, I don't want to see Embiid in the Knicks, man.
Yeah, Thibodeau may work him to death. I don't know. He'd really be hurt.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to sound like a contrarian. I'm over the big man being part of the existence in the NBA because there's enough guys that are tall to almost be considered. There's a lot of small forwards and power forwards that the Knicks got that can be considered like big men. Like, Randall's not short. I wish they'd get rid of him, but I would trade.
Yeah, that's
Randall.
what Jeffrey wants. He wants them to trade Randall. Yeah. I think the Knicks have kind of ran their course, the fans, with Randall. So you're saying Denver's going back to back. I'm saying Celtics in 6. And you're saying Denver. With Aaron Gordon playing the way he's playing, if they can get Michael Porter involved more, keep Murray healthy, Joker do his thing. I mean, I don't see why Denver couldn't do it.
Right. And I think it's the coaching.
Because they're still in their prime there in Denver.
It's not just the coaching; they have a nice little bench that supplements them. And the Joker, man, like he plays simple, man. He doesn't. and the way he plays, it doesn't
looks
look
easy because there's so much team chemistry.
Yeah, and then it doesn't look like if he gets hurt, it's because somebody will fall on him, and he's a big dude to fall anyway. So,
Yeah.
I don't. He seems like he'll probably.
John's right. Booker could win MVP.
Booker.
He's 7-8 years in the league. He's got the talent for it.
Problem with that is that he's on the Suns, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to see Booker and Pacheco like maybe on Orlando. That'd be nice.
Who's Pacheco? Running back for Kansas City Chiefs?
No, but no, is it Pacheco? What's his name? I'm sorry, I mixed it up. I mixed up their names. What's his name from Orlando?
Oh, Orlando.
Yeah,
man,
the Magic, right?
They didn't got anybody on their team right now.
Yeah, a lot of young bucks, bro.
Yeah, that's a team that other Orlando, Washington, and Charlotte. But think about it. There's a lot of parity in the NBA, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of parity.
If you see Oklahoma City like in the Final Four for the Western Conference, don't be surprised.
Sam Presti is a wizard as a general manager.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they get to the playoffs and win a game or two.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with the Lakers or Golden State like everybody else, but those are TV people. I feel like they're just saying stuff just to say something.
And the depth, they don't have depth, man. They're just older. They're older teams. That's why
Lakers got a little bit, but I mean, LeBron and AD didn't have a point in the second half the other night.
That's crazy, right?
But they did beat the Suns, but the Suns didn't have Booker, nor did they have Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
If you guys like the show, share the show. Do you need to plug anything, man?
Monday on Friday, I haven't been able the last 2 Fridays, but
I'm Keith still under the weather?
What?
Keith's still under the weather?
Oh, he had a work thing this week, so
okay.
But yeah, we're usually on 9:00 in the mornings.
Thank you, John.
Serious? I'm on the North NFC East show on Let's Talk Sports on Wednesday night.
What time? 9 also?
At 9:00
Eastern
time, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do a show with Tanner on Let's Talk Sports and Sports Buffoons for a pregame on Thursdays sometimes. And then I'm here with you, man. We rock it every Friday night.
Yeah, you got it, brother. Thanks, John. Ripples, Chad. Man, I feel like I'm Tupac here. Big Sight, Snoop, Hank, Bogart.
Little E.
Have a good night, everybody. Yeah. DJ Cali, is that what you said?
I said Little E.
Oh, yeah.